The early morning sun slowly began to rise from its slumber, casting warm streaks of gold across the village. Kaivor was already awake, rubbing his eyes from the lack of sleep he had gotten. His thick curls were flattened at the back from tossing through the night, hanging loosely over the front of his caramel skin. Lately, restful sleep had become harder to find. His thoughts moved endlessly through his head like tiny gears shifting inside a massive clock tower, always turning, never stopping. The thought of turning 12 in 5 days occupied much of his mind. In only 2 weeks, he would begin formal education, the same structured system every child entered during their 12th year. It was the stage that determined the direction of their lives, shaping where they belonged within society. But that wasn't the only thing weighing on him. Recently, Kaivor had started noticing something strange about the world around him. At first, the changes had been subtle, easy to dismiss. Yet the longer he paid attention, the harder they became to ignore. Sometimes the flow of nature itself felt wrong. Rain would fall strangely, almost like it moved against the wind instead of with it. Shadows lingered longer than they should. Certain moments felt distorted, as though another world rested over top of the physical one he could see. Like reality itself was layered. Like truth was beginning to slip through cracks hidden beneath carefully crafted lies. The sudden knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. "Kaivor?" His mother's soft, soothing voice reached him from the other side. "It's open," he replied, his voice rough with exhaustion, sounding like he could easily crawl back into bed and sleep the entire day away. The door creaked open slowly, allowing warm sunlight to spill into the room, bringing with it a strangely calming warmth. His mother stepped inside, the morning light catching against her deep umber hair as it flowed over her shoulders and rested gently against the sleeves of her azure dress. The sunlight softened her moonlit skin, giving her an almost ethereal presence that made the room itself feel calmer just by her entering it. "You're awake early again," she observed from the doorway. "I couldn't sleep much." Kaivor groaned quietly as he forced himself upright. She studied him carefully, the way only a mother who truly paid attention to her child could. "You only say that when there's too much occupying your mind." Her voice remained calm and gentle. "What's got you so worked up?" There was something about her presence that made people want to open up without even realizing it. She waited for an answer that never came. "Downstairs in 2 minutes. We've got a full day ahead of us. Fields first, then the market." As she spoke, she watched him struggle to pull his shirt on, only for him to somehow put it on backwards and upside down. A small sigh escaped her lips, though amusement clearly tugged at the corners of her smile. Even as he was growing older, moments like this reminded her he was still just a kid. She walked over and fixed the shirt for him herself. "You'll need to start getting proper sleep." Her smile widened slightly. "I can't fix your shirts forever." Kaivor's face tightened with embarrassment, his eyes immediately dropping toward the floor. "Hurry up," she said before heading for the door. "Okay," he muttered, traces of embarrassment still clinging to his voice. Outside, Mina was already nearly swallowed by the tall grass surrounding the yard. At only 4 years old, she crouched low to the ground, occasionally springing forward with sudden bursts of energy like a tiny wild animal stalking prey across the savannah. Kaivor walked toward her curiously, trying to figure out what had her acting so strange this early in the morning. As he got closer, he realized her thick curls were filled with leaves, twigs, and bits of grass, as though an entire arts and crafts project had exploded directly into her hair. Kaivor chuckled quietly to himself. He reached toward her to start pulling the debris free, right as she leapt forward. "Gotcha!" she shouted excitedly. She spun toward him while still crouched low, carefully holding something between her hands, like it was the greatest treasure she had ever discovered. "What are you doing?" Kaivor asked. The grin spreading across her face looked unstoppable as she hurried over toward him. Slowly, she opened her hands. A tiny forest green frog sat inside her palms. "He thought he could get away," she whispered dramatically before winking. "But I was faster." Kaivor stared at her for a moment, not even sure how to respond. The simplicity of the way she saw the world felt strangely precious. "I'm gonna name him..." Mina paused dramatically, thinking as hard as a 4-year-old possibly could. Then her face lit up. "Leaf." Kaivor blinked once. "That's the name you chose?" Before Mina could defend her genius naming abilities, their mother stepped outside, ready to leave for the day. "Come on, you two. Time to go. We don't want to be late." "Come on." Mina grabbed Kaivor's hand with her free one. "Leaf wants to see the fields and the market." Still holding the frog carefully in her other hand, she began bouncing down the trail after their mother, while Kaivor allowed himself to be dragged along behind her.